The Raptors found a hidden gem, and they might need him more than they realize. When the Toronto Raptors made their most recent roster adjustments, there was no sense that something significant had happened. There were no league-wide alerts, no national media segments, and no immediate reaction suggesting that Toronto had gained or lost ground in a meaningful way. And that's precisely why this move deserves attention. Because some roster additions don't announce themselves loudly. They quietly address issues teams have been managing and sometimes masking for months. And for the Raptors, one of those issues has been frontcourt stability. Not star power, not upside, stability. For much of the season, Toronto has operated on a delicate balance. The team has relied heavily on effort, ball movement, and versatility to compensate for inconsistent size and interior depth. Scottie Barnes, in particular, has been asked to shoulder an enormous workload, rebounding, initiating offense, defending multiple positions, and cleaning up broken possessions. It's worked in stretches, but it hasn't been sustainable, and that's where Trayce Jackson-Davis enters the picture. How this situation quietly developed. The Raptors didn't suddenly need help in the frontcourt because of one injury or one bad night. This has been building over time. Jakob Poeltl has been the anchor when healthy, but his availability has been inconsistent. When he's out, Toronto doesn't just lose rim protection, they lose structure. Defensive rotations stretch, rebounding responsibilities shift, and guards are forced into roles that drain energy over the course of a game. Colin Murray-Boyles was expected to help stabilize those minutes. Instead, injuries and setbacks have kept his role uncertain. An aggravated thumb may sound minor, but for a team already thin inside, it matters. This is how seasons quietly slip away, not with collapse, but with erosion. So when Toronto added Trayce Jackson-Davis, it wasn't about upside or long-term projection. It was about insurance. Why expectations were low. Jackson-Davis wasn't a name most Raptors fans were tracking. He didn't arrive with hype. He didn't carve out a consistent role in Golden State, and that alone created skepticism. If he couldn't earn steady minutes there, why would he matter here? It's a fair question, but it ignores context. Golden State's system is not built to develop traditional bigs. Their offense prioritizes spacing, movement, and perimeter decision-making. Roles are rigid, opportunities are limited. Young bigs often operate on short leashes. Jackson-Davis didn't fail there. He simply didn't fit cleanly. Toronto values effort, rebounding, and functional roles, especially during transitional stretches. And that's why his first appearance mattered. The debut that shifted the tone, Jackson-Davis played just 15 minutes in his first meaningful run with Toronto. In those minutes, he recorded 10 points and 10 rebounds. But the box score wasn't the story. The game felt calmer with him on the floor. There was less scrambling under the rim, fewer second-chance opportunities, and less pressure on Scottie Barnes to clean up everything. He wasn't spectacular. He was effective. Solid screens, hard rolls, rebounds in traffic, vertical contests at the rim. He got to the free throw line 10 times, a clear sign of activity and physical engagement. For a team that often wins on effort margins, that matters. Why this wasn't just one good game, the coaching staff has been clear. They're not overreacting. A 10 to 15 game evaluation window is the goal. That's smart. But the importance of this performance isn't about projection. It's about utility. Toronto doesn't need Jackson-Davis to become a starter. They don't need him to change the franchise trajectory. They need him to stabilize minutes. They need someone who can give them 12 to 18 reliable minutes without the floor collapsing. Someone who absorbs physical matchups, rebounds consistently, and allows the rest of the lineup to function normally. That role has value, timing, and opportunity. The timing makes this more interesting. The All-Star break is approaching. Jakob Poeltl is close but not fully ready. Rushing him back carries unnecessary risk. That opens a window. And windows like this are how rotation players earn trust. If Jackson-Davis can deliver steady minutes during this stretch, not dominant ones, just dependable ones, he becomes part of the solution. That's how depth forms quietly. Fit within Toronto's identity, Toronto has leaned heavily on ball movement and collective defense. They are not overwhelming teams with talent. They are staying organized and disciplined. Jackson-Davis fits that identity. He doesn't stop the ball. He doesn't demand touches. He plays within structure. He's not a floor spacer, but he doesn't clog possessions either. His role is clear, and clarity matters. The contract factor. Another overlooked element is cost. Jackson-Davis comes with minimal financial and strategic risk. There's no pressure to force minutes or justify the move. That freedom allows Toronto to evaluate him honestly, and honest evaluations keep teams flexible. The bigger picture. This isn't a story about finding a future star. It's about finding someone who helps you survive. In the Eastern Conference, thin margins define seasons. One bad stretch can change everything. Trayce Jackson-Davis may not raise Toronto's ceiling, but he might protect their floor. And sometimes that's the most important addition a team can make.